All right, today with Hype Magazine, we have a great guest with us. She is a mother, a former Wilhelmina model, an entrepreneur, and she has just, we're going to say this, created history yet again. That BGM magic, right? So we have none other than the fabulous Kim Baker. Yes. Thank you so much, Kim, for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited about being here.
So tell the audience who you are, where you came from.
So my name is Kim Baker. I am a former Wilhelmina model, one of the pioneers of plus-size modeling, the plus-size model industry. And I turned celebrity makeup artist because I didn't want to leave this fabulous industry, and I've just been here ever since. I've done so much at this point. I have done press junkets with different celebrities like Tom Cruise, Ving Rhames. I've worked on America's Next Top Model as a makeup artist, even with political figures and some of the royalty of different countries. I've worked with the Khalifa family, which is the royal family of Bahrain, for their Noon by Noor. I've done so many things in the industry, but despite everything I've done, I love working with everyday women, and that's why I started Glamazon Beauty. I love working with women and educating them and letting them know how much fun they can have with makeup, just improving themselves,
How were you inspired? Was it something through modeling or just something that was in you just growing up?
So let me just say that I'm glad you asked that. You know why? Because today you see all of these brands coming out with makeup for black women. But when you had me and Iman and Beverly Johnson and so many other supermodels that were coming along begging for cosmetic companies to create our shades of foundation, and you can still see it today, where you'll look at a lot of different brands and they'll have, 8 shades of white, 2 shades of black. Well, we've been trying to change that narrative for a long time. And during the time that I was a model, I really got sick of it. Many times I would show up to set with my makeup done already. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to start my own makeup brand. So I created, and a host of other black women created these brands out of necessity. And not because we realized, hey, wait a minute, we're missing out on that dollar. No, baby. I'm here because I've lived the experience. And many of the brands today are creating these shades now because they see the dollar. Well, we were speaking to you a long time ago. It took you now to catch up. My daughter has a saying that I love, my daughter Natasha, and it's that you cannot fake authenticity. She says that all the time, Mom, don't worry about it. You can't fake authenticity. I mean, you got people out here that sing songs coming out with skincare lines and people that add coming out with, well, if you knew all of this, then why did you have to have a makeup artist? You see who walked in here today with their face already done. You should not play with the consumer's trust. And that's why I'm here. I've been doing this a long time.
What actually took you away from modeling and spearheaded you into the cosmetics field and beauty branding?
What took me away from modeling is that I became spiritually on a higher realm. I didn't want it to be about how I look anymore, even though I love looking good, y'all. I wanted to be looked at from a different aspect. I found more pleasure in helping others build confidence and seeing women look like more beautiful versions of themselves, that is where I got to be here mentally. It wasn't about how I look anymore. It was about what could I do to empower someone else.
While you were modeling, some things happened where it actually landed you in the news. What exactly propelled that, if you want to explain to the audience?
So during the time when I first came on the scene as a model, I was quoted as being the next Iman. And I kind of found myself, as our parents tell us many times, be careful of the company you keep. And, when you're young, you think you know everything, you think you're invincible, And I found myself being charged with a crime that I did not commit. And I was facing 65 years in federal prison. as a result until I proved my innocence, and I did.
Being that you overcame that, how was that though? Like, how long did it take you to actually get out of that mode to be facing something like that?
2 years. I did 800 hours of community service, but even through that, God was looking out for me, because when I got arrested, I had my daughter's picture, ironically, in my jean pocket, and somehow when you go into prison, especially federal prison, you have to be patted down. If you have a wig on, baby, you got to take it off. And that day, I did have a wig on, and I ended up getting this guard with compassion. She allowed me to keep it on. It was a sister. And she said, do not tell anybody you have a wig on. And she allowed me to keep the picture. And she knew I was young. I was very young at the time. I was 19. She knew I was young. And I remember swearing that if I get out of here, I will never get in trouble again. And ironically, when I got in front of the judge, the Honorable Judge John J. Bissell, and I acknowledge his name because he's the one that helped me get on the right path. He looked at my portfolio, my model portfolio, and was like, I really can't see why I should send you to federal prison, because I see you trying to do something with your life. He said, I'm gonna have you do community service for me, but if you ever get in any trouble like this again, you will do this 65 years like I'm handing a baby candy. And I remember getting that second chance and saying, I'm gonna make something good out of my life. And I remember going home and just realizing how much I had shamed my mom, and I felt like I shamed my family. And recently, when I relaunched Glamazon, my mom was there and she was so excited, and she said to me how proud I was. But it's, years later, but I never stopped trying to make up for the embarrassment I caused her,
So I want to ask you, when you booked your first job as an MUA, how did that feel, and who was it with?
Oh my God, my first job my first jobs as a makeup artist was always with magazines. Shooting I've shot for Harper's Bazaar, I've shot for 17, I've shot for Essence, it was with publications. But then my first big celebrity was Tom Cruise and Ving Rhames for Mission Impossible 2. And I will never forget, I was so excited because the first location was at The View when I had to go meet them. And I got there right before Tom arrived, and I remember being in the dressing room and him walking in, and then he had just had Suri, and then he came over to me and we started talking, and he was asking me a little bit about myself, and I was one of the first people to ever see a picture of Suri when she was first born. So he was the first one, and he is also the one that taught me, if Tom Cruise could be nice and polite, I will never take bullshit from anybody else.
Now take us step by step how you started Glamazon.
I started Glamazon through the power of prayer and faith. I didn't know anything, and I remember praying on it because I went about it. I had this girlfriend back in the day who wanted to be involved with me, but it was just one of those people that you just couldn't get along with, and she knew everything but nothing. And I remember saying, no, the Spirit spoke to me and was like, no, you got to do this journey yourself. You're authentic in this spot. You can't bring somebody just because they want to be able to say they have a brand. Here's what I need people to understand. When I say the power of prayer, I didn't know where I was getting the money from. I remember calling, so I know everybody in the industry from Iman to Byron Barnes, who did Iman's brand, and I called Byron and I said, Byron, how much do I need to launch a cosmetic brand successfully? And he told me $1 million. He said Iman launched it with $750,000. So I would say today $1 million.
$1 million.
So did I say I was going to give up? No. That's when I started praying, and I was like, God, if so-and-so, if you did it for so-and-so and they can find $1 million to do a brand, I know you'll do it for me.
You know what? And I'm glad that you said that. And you continue to speak spirituality into your brand, because so many people fake it until they make it. You faith until you make it.
I faith. And let me tell you, people, if you don't believe in the power of faith and prayer, please look at me. I have a full brand. I am on TV now selling my products. I'm going into stores this fall. And I'm telling you, I had $0 to start that brand when I first started. But my faith would not allow me. If you take, my grandmother used to say, if you take the first few steps, God will push you the rest of the way and take them for you. That is the truth with Glamazon. That is the honest to God truth. I remember when I first started, this guy that did my packaging, we still can't figure out how we met each other. Neither one of us. I think I accidentally called him and we got into a conversation. He's in Germany. I'm here in the U.S. We started talking. We are the best of friends today. Literally, I'm in such a great relationship with him. If I called him and said, I need this, on credit, he'd give it to me. And I'm telling you, it is the power of faith,
Yes. I agree.
It's real. Hello, I have the brand. I mean, if you don't believe me, go to glamazonbeauty.com.
And you have a great brand.
Thank you.
You have a fabulous
That's another
brand.
thing I did. I prayed on that too.
You have a fabulous brand that actually speaks volumes, not just to African American women, but all women.
Yes.
All women.
And it looks like and feels like skin. And that is exactly what I wanted. And let me tell you why. As a model, they would put makeup on me that it would look great, but I felt like I had a mask on. And I remember saying, I don't want to be able to have to wear product and feel like this. I used to want to rip my face off. I remember as soon as I finished doing shooting, I would run to the bathroom and wash my face, I love when I put it on models and they tell me, oh no, I'm gonna leave this on. I know I did it right.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, she did her own face, people. Hello. That goes to show. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you want to give advice to someone in terms of starting their own brands, even though, faith takes a lot, but when it comes to really the steps, even though if you have to learn it as you go, what are some of the tips that you would give another Virginie?
The first thing you should do is realize and understand who your customer is. Who do you want to serve? I wanted to serve women, black women who are business women, who are ambitious. I wanted to be able to cater to women that money is not so much the issue as quality and making sure that you're putting good stuff on your skin. My foundation is vegan. If I swallowed some right now, I'd be fine. Don't do it, but I'm just saying, I'd be fine. Yes.
Because there will be some people that
because somebody will go eat it and then talk about me on the news and then no thanks.
So now you've got some great news to share.
Yes. Woo, woo. So, guys, I am going to be the first black-owned beauty brand on Shop HQ. Hard to believe, but you know what? I am elated about it. They are elated about it. This change has come, and it's just something to celebrate. And I'm just hoping you queens out there will celebrate this with me. Trust the process. It's never in your time, it is in God's time, and I'm a testament of that. I tried to force the narrative, and I guess God was like, you're not ready. Now I'm ready.
So now that you've created this legacy to leave behind, historically you created history as the first.
Yes.
How does that feel?
The Shop HQ team announced it to me and said, guess what, Kim, you're right. You are the first African American.
You're the first.
And you know what? And that is great, because if anybody ever researches it, they will see me. Me.
And that's what I'm saying. See,
Yes.
even though you created a brand to service others, maybe formulated it for women of color, it's for all women. And
Right.
then it's made by an African
American woman. And that's what I want people to know. When they say black brand, I have something for everyone. It is black owned, black woman owned. So that's where, that's what makes me proud, is that, and to be the first on the network is just wow. And they're so excited about me coming. They're so genuine in there. Like when we're on our Skypes together, or not Skypes, our Zooms together, you can see that they're equally excited. I launched June 30th at 3 p.m. on the East Coast, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 1 p.m. on the West Coast.
And what do you want the consumers to know, men and women, for Glamazon?
I just want you guys to know you are about to experience a product that is weightless, that looks like skin. It's a skin finish. I put so much of my knowledge and education. I wanted the product to be very skin conscious, meaning it's vegan. There are no animal products in it. You feel the difference. Every single person who tries it says all the time they can feel how hydrating it is.
That's
I try not to boast about it. I like to hear it from my consumers.
Boast.
Yes, I know.
You're where you are.
But I like
because of
when my Glamazons tell me, when my beauties tell me, I love your product.
Yeah.
Magic. Every time, it never gets old. So don't stop telling me, y'all.
And I thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And
thank you for having me.
For creating something for all women.
Thank
and
you.
Yes, and for our LGBT community as well, because I know the men be wearing it too. They
and
be
honey, the
rocking
men be turning it out, okay?
Yes,
so
they do.
ladies, I'm telling you, step your game up. But these guys out here ain't playing.
They be wearing
all right,
it.
they coming for your throat.
They do.
Yes, exactly.
But I thank you and I love you dearly. So everyone who's going to check out Shop HQ.
Yeah.
June 30th.
June 30th.
And she is going to bring it full-fledged.